$4,000 before anybody said no, and kicked myself for the previous 6 years that I have been charging $125. And I said, okay, they said no at $4 grand, what do I do? He said, we need to change your marketing to justify the $4,000 price. Still the same exact service, but the marketing positioned it as something that was better. And people who pay higher prices are happier customers. They are lower maintenance, they will give you more referrals, and they will not drive you crazy. The bottom 20% of your clients give you 80% of your headaches.
So how do you overcome when there's an industry standard, like for me, for instance?
Yes, the standard 3 to 6% commission.
6% commission is, I really can't see myself getting 10% commission to sell it.
Then I can't help you.
Well, I'm here.
No, you just said I can't see it. If you can't see it, there's nothing. That's why you have to go read The Instant Millionaire. That's why we have to fix your mindset stuff. Me is a perfect example. I can't see charging 10%. Then your clients won't either. So we need to make you believe that you're worthy of 10%, and then I can show you, Bill and I can show you how to convince someone else to pay it. But if you can't convince yourself, you won't do a great job communicating. Yes.
Sorry. How do you find your price point if your markets are different? Like on a regional scale, the price point is a lot higher especially for career coaching. But on a national scale, because they have affiliates behind them, they drop their prices like really low. So it's like the difference between $1,000 and like $79.
Did you say between 79 and 1,000? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a big range.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you have multiple okay, so the first question was how do you determine your price point? Mm-hmm. Okay. So your price point is determined by two things. One, what your market will bear with your current marketing, and what you can change it to justify the higher price. So the magic answer is split test. And what that means is send a marketing campaign at 89, see how many people take you up on it. Send the next 100 people 99, 109, 129, and keep testing price elasticity with the same marketing to see how much you can raise your prices without changing anything. And then once you have a soft limit, then you got to go back and revamp your marketing to justify the higher price. Does that make sense? Because ultimately your market's going to tell you. But you have to tell them what it's worth, because otherwise they will pigeonhole you and think of you like everyone else who does what you do. The reason you're not going to get 10% right now is if you position yourself as a realtor, they're going to pay 6% to 3%, because that's what they think realtors are supposed to pay. Until you try to change them, teach them why they're not. So we did marketing for a car dealership. And the car dealers, I said, what do you want to solve? They came to me and said, well, right now we were written about in Toyota Dealer Magazine. You go to our website and a little form pops up, go and get a free quote on a car, get a price. They fill out the little form, and then it sends them one email, and a salesperson gets a lead and calls them one time. That was their system. And I said, okay, what's your conversion? How many people who opt in on your little form are coming in and buying cars? I said, 31%. I said, that's insane. You're sending one email that has lousy copy, one phone call, and you get 31%. I said, that's phenomenal. When you told me 31%, I didn't know if I could beat it, but if that's all you're doing, I can trounce it. And I said, what's the biggest problem that your salespeople have? What are you trying to solve? We get beat up on price. People come in here with Kelley Blue Book and Consumer Reports and spend 3 hours nickel and diming us over the price of tires, and it drives us nuts and it kills our profitability. I said, okay, so your consumers have been educated that this is what they're supposed to buy, how they're supposed to think about buying a car. So you want to re-educate them on why they shouldn't care about price, correct? Yes. So what we did was we wrote a lead generation report. We got rid of the free quote, and it was how to overcome the 7 biggest mistakes Western New Yorkers make when buying a car. And it was a 7-day, I wanted them to do a printed version and mail it, but they wouldn't spend the money. So it was a 7-day e-course, 7 emails. No phone calls from salespeople, just 7 emails, and then an email driving them to go come in for a test drive. It worked so well they stopped doing it. I was in the meeting with the general manager who hired me, who said, for the first time ever, we've got people calling the dealership asking to make an appointment at a specific time to come buy a car. How do you screw this one up? And the salespeople were, they taped the phone calls because I didn't believe, I said, you got to tape it, I don't believe that they're doing this. So each salesperson had their own 800 number that forwarded to their cell phone so we could track the leads each person got and what they were doing with those leads. They wouldn't answer their phone.
Oh my God.
Or they'd answer their phone, yeah, this is Joe, instead of name of car dealer. Look, it's my personal cell phone. Like, my friends are going to laugh at me if I say, hey, this is West Herb. Do you want the money or not? Follow the script. People would leave a messages, yeah, I got your e-course, I want to come buy a car. And they wouldn't call them back. And the general manager looked at me and goes, what am I supposed to do? I said, fire them all. Start over. They work for you, it's their job to do what they're paid. And he said, well, if I fire them all, I won't have anybody on the floor. I can't just fire 12, 15 people tomorrow. You might do that, Seth, but I'm not going to do that. So they turned off the campaign because the salespeople wouldn't call all the leads back because there were too many. Too much business. You cannot go broke underestimating the stupidity of the American public, if they're your clients.
Unemployment's high.
I know, it's a recession, right?
Not too many leads, come on. Don't follow them.
Right.
Maybe it's stupidity of automobile season.
That's it. Okay.
You wouldn't know about that though.
So, how to make your site traffic worthy. An upsell and or a downsell can increase your order size by 30%. It doesn't have to be something physically sold. I'm going to show you examples of upsells that aren't really selling anything that work really well. So, hey, they're opting in for my report about how to list your house. What am I going to sell? I'm not going to sell them like gift certificates, Mary Maids. I'll show you examples. You can give them a retention program to keep them around. This will fry your brain. We did this for another real estate agent in another area where the customers paid monthly to get the real estate agent's newsletter. Every month, $50 to $100 a month, whether they bought a house or not. So all of a sudden, he's got his couple hundred farm customers he's dealt with over the last 20 years that all of a sudden they weren't doing anything until 7 years later, or unless they forgot. All of a sudden now he's got, a couple, 10 grand a month in revenue, completely unrelated to the real estate business. Now obviously the new pitch for that newsletter has to be really good, and what's in it has to be worth paying for. But all of a sudden he's now got a revenue stream that has nothing to do with commission. You could have a continuity program to keep them coming back for more. We'll talk about that in a minute. There are competitors in every business in this room and participating virtually somewhere doing this. There isn't a niche it won't work for. I actually won a social media bet about this. I had posted this on my Facebook. I wrote a blog post that I had found a computer game that I used to play called Diablo, which is like a Dungeons and Dragons, sword and sorcery, whatever. Somebody created an information marketing product for this video game. He had figured out how to hack the computer game and generate $1 billion in virtual currency in the game that you could use to buy magic weapons. And he was selling a course on how to game the system and have $1 billion and be a Diablo billionaire. And I said, you cannot come up with a niche it doesn't work for. If you can do it in a virtual computer game, it can work anywhere. I put a bet out. Somebody took me up on it. And they said, it won't work for an Elvis impersonator. And I said, I guarantee you someone's already doing it even though I just got 6 ideas. And I found an information marketing site selling books, CDs, and courses on how to be an Elvis impersonator. Where to get your costumes, what songs to dance to, how to get extra fees from the gig. It's limited just to your imagination. Okay, so you're going to write this down. These are the 6 rings of traffic, and they start from the center out. Number 1, joint venture and affiliated traffic. This is when you get somebody else who serves your customers to market for you. It is the first ring of traffic because number 1, it is free. All you have to do is pay them a commission if they sell something for you. If they don't sell anything, it costs you nothing. It is also the first ring of traffic because you are piggybacking on someone else's list and their relationship with their list. I call this an endorsed mailing. So if, for example, I have one of our clients teaches people how to buy foreclosed real estate property. They have 2 New York Times bestsellers on the topic, real books, and have been on television, and they have a list of 150,000 people who have opted in to learn about investing in foreclosures. So, if, for example, I had a complimentary product from another client about how to fix your credit, I could then say, hey, client A, here's client B, let's go sell the credit people who, how to fix your credit, and pay them a cut. And then let's go sell these people who just fixed their credit. Now that your credit's better, let's go invest in real estate and make some money. You get paid both ways. So you're piggybacking on their list and their relationship with their list. Does that make sense? This could be you send, anytime someone buys a house, hey, here's the carpet cleaner I recommend. It's word of mouth, B&I, on purpose, on steroids, as opposed to one person at a time. It's, hey, I have a list of every real estate agent in Western New York. Let's go after it. That's ring number 1. Ring number 2 is remarketed traffic. This is really scary, cool stuff. How many people here know what retargeting is? Except this, okay. Alright, so retargeting is you go to my website. I place a cookie on your computer. I know that you were there. You do not take the desired action. You don't opt in for my fabulous free report. You then go away from my website and go to CNN to check the news. Lo and behold, a little ad on CNN says, ultimate marketing, 7 guaranteed ways. Come back and check this out. Because I knew you were there. Unless you remove your cookies the right way, like every day, I can follow you forever. In any place on the internet, I can place an ad over that site. So I can have the banner ad on CNN.com for pennies as opposed to paying millions. As a father of little kids, it scares the crap out of me, but as a marketer, I live on it. So, if you have traffic that's going to your site that's not doing what you want, they didn't opt in, they didn't buy, they didn't get on your list, why let them go? Follow them around, give them another chance to come back. They went to your site, so they were interested in something, so they're more targeted than someone who is interested in nothing. Does that make sense? You can do this dirt cheap. It is literally pennies per person. And it costs nothing to follow them unless they click on your ad on another site and come back, which is what you wanted in the first place. The next ring out would be search traffic. There are 2 types of that: pay-per-click, Google AdWords, Facebook pay-per-click, LinkedIn pay-per-click, or organic traffic, which is free. Just takes time and expertise.
But earlier you said that organic traffic wasn't as good as pay-per-click, didn't you?
It's not scalable, and it's not controllable. Now, there are pluses and minuses to both. For our Google search, 86% of the traffic goes to the organic search results. Only 14% goes to the paid ads. But you can buy more traffic on the paid ads. You could say, I want to spend $200 today, or $20. Whereas you can't say, I want more organic. You can't just write a bigger check and get more organic traffic. So it's not controllable or scalable, but you'll get more results. So you want to do both. Does that answer that question? Okay. Email traffic. You can rent email lists of your target marketer. Or you can purchase them, depending on how many times, if you want to mail it once and test it, or if you want to own the list. So you could, social media has made this really, really cheap and easy. So for example, I'll use John as an example later, but we have been doing stuff. We're working on a campaign right now where we're setting up catering for high school graduation parties for next year. So we can go place ads on Facebook in front of all of the kids who are fans of Williams the Least, who are 17 years old. And then we can place a separate ad in front of Ken Morris or whatever, whoever you want. So he doesn't have to buy an email list of 17-year-olds because it's illegal and he can't. But he can get them on Facebook. Gary teaching golf to teenage pre-college girls can't buy that list, but he can get it on Facebook. Amanda can buy a list for career counseling. Anybody. Joe can buy a list of the chief technology officer of every Fortune 200 company. It just depends on the market. And then contextual traffic. Ads on sites with related content. So, contextual traffic for me, for marketing, would be if I put an ad on digitalmarketer.com. It's a site that's also about my topic. My prospective customers are there reading their stuff. It's relevant. Makes sense. And then social traffic, which I skipped ahead to because it's very cheap right now. It's where email marketing was 10, 15 years ago. So you start from the center and move out. Now some are going to be more relevant to your business, some are not. Does Kurt need to do email traffic to get to realtors? Not really. You got a direct mail. I mean, I got a direct mail list. I'd rather mail them. And you're local. You're not looking for national exposure. They're all local.
International.
Really?
Very much so. I do a fair bit of work for investment buyers from out of the country. I work
did not know that.
in Japan and Israel and Australia.
So are they buying the property here and you're inspecting it for them?
Yeah, it's local sales, but it's the marketing Buffalo is slightly expensive. People have to recognize it and buy it. And you look into them, and you get one person will buy 5, 6, 8, 10 homes, and then they're done.
So you have frequency of transactions.
But then after that, they reach that point where they've filled the niche here, they're done. But how do I get more?
That's really interesting.
How do I get the
So if you were the inspector for investment out of state investment property, that's a heck of a lot better position than, Amy, I'm just as good or better than the other 52 inspectors you know.
I mean, I have access to the all the Western New York realtor list that's available online through the association website. So I've got all of that. It's hard, email stuff because you get gazillions of them.
Right, which is why we spent last month and why we're going to give you a whole lot of examples today of direct mail, and the most inexpensive form of direct mail is a postcard. Okay, so the granddaddy of them all for pay-per-click is Google AdWords, which if you do a Google search, it's the yellow box above to the right or at the bottom of a search. Google, some of you already know, so humor me. Google determines where your ad goes by your quality score, by your bank account. They have a relevancy matrix from the keyword search to your ad to the page on your website that you're driving them to. Keyword search, 4-line ad, web page. The more relevant they view you, the higher your quality score, the cheaper your ad gets, the higher up it goes. So the beauty of Google is it isn't a pure auction market. You can't just write a bigger check and bump somebody off. You have to be a smarter marketer, which rewards those of us who are smarter and does not have $1 million marketing budget. You can be on the Google search network, or you can be on Google partner sites, or you can be on the display network. There are 3 different things. The Google search network is I go to Google, I type in golf swing, what comes up on the Google page. That's Google search. Google partner sites would be I go to AOL.com, I type in golf swing, search results come up, it says powered by Google. AOL's not running the search, Google is, but it's on AOL's site. So my ad now shows up on AOL's site on that search. And then the display network is you go to CNN.com, and halfway down the page are little ads and it says powered by Google. So I can now put an ad on CNN. It costs me nothing until someone clicks on it. And it's a display ad as opposed to someone searching for it. Does that make sense? Okay. It's cost effective. You search AdWords on Google, you create an account, all you have to do is put $5 in it, and then you can start creating campaigns. You want to, this isn't going to be a whole class in Google AdWords, just a couple quick minutes. You want to make sure you separate out the search network and the content network, because remember that content network is any place Google wants to put your ad, which means you can spend a whole lot of money really fast if you're not careful. You want to make sure that you optimize your ads for the people who are actually searching for you first before you go try putting ads everywhere. Otherwise, you're going to spend a whole lot of money a whole lot really fast. Use one keyword for each campaign you do. It's more work, but it will dramatically increase your results. So for example, we had a client came to us that sells online, it's an online dealer of aftermarket Land Rover parts. You want to go, you buy a $70,000 Land Rover, you want to go off-road, you buy your parts from this company. I personally don't think my sister-in-law is taking the kids off-roading, but who knows. So anyway, they gave me their ad, we took over their AdWords. They had one campaign that like Land Rover part was the key, was the campaign, you know, go here to check out these deals. And they had 732 keywords on that ad. So whether I typed in any combination of Land Rover, off-road, anything, the ad showed up. They were wasting a ton of money. So what we did was we took the top 20% of the keywords, 140, made 140 different ads for one keyword at a time, and we increased their conversion over 1,000%. Because all of a sudden it was relevant. If I was typing Land Rover Part 4J, I wasn't seeing an ad for Land Rover Part X. Because that's not what I want. You're wasting your money. You can do geo-targeting, so this works locally. You can say, I only want my ad to show up in front of people who are searching in Buffalo, or Canada, or wherever they're buying from. Facebook strategy, we're going to give you some one of the ranges was social traffic. We're going to give you some Facebook strategies. Focus on great content, because that's what generates the conversation. If you try and start a conversation, it's like, think about it if you're, we'll use a networking event. And if you walk up to someone you've never met, say, here's my card, here's what I'd like to sell you. Where did they run away? Hi, my name's Kurt, nice to meet you, tell me about yourself. And you start that starts a conversation. Or, hey, did you hear about the guy, you know, oh my God, I can't believe Galasanti got off, or whatever. You gotta start a content, you have to get content in order to get people to talk. Deliver a steady stream of content about your area of expertise. Post one, I would say at least one piece a day. Again, every market is different, but the most I would ever post would be 3 times a day, but I would start with one. Something that your target audience wants to know.
Well, how do you, okay, so, because I took a little Facebook, Wells Fargo put on an agent thing on Facebook strategies, and they were saying how what you should do is actually, there's 2 optimum times a day, and you put like a benign, completely like Christmas lights, red or blue, you know what I mean, like completely not even related to what you do, and we get people to comment on that, like from your business Facebook page, versus saying, because right now, like on my agent page, I just created one, believe it or not, so I just like businesses, and I had my friends like me.
Right.
But not everybody's looking to buy a house. So for instance, let's say Gary's my friend.
Yes.
He's not going to care if I say, hey Gary, did you know that, and I say something that's completely relevant to the situation.
Right. So you need a mix between warm and fuzzy content, Christmas lights,
Right.
and hard content, promotional, here's some tips on staging your house. So the mix we found that works the best is 75% warm fuzzy, 25% hard promotional or resource. Because ultimately the goal, you could have a very active Facebook community of people talking about your Christmas lights, but ultimately you gotta use it to make money. And if all they're doing is commenting on what recipe you made last night, you're never gonna get a check off of that. So true, you wanna have more warm fuzzy to keep them engaged, but you've gotta have actual content that drives sales. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I just don't know how to capture that.
Right. Well, there are a number of, you don't have to write it all yourself. Any of you. That's the beauty of it. A lot of it, there's stuff you can subscribe to a whole bunch. We have a site that ranks blogs. So you type in a keyword, it'll tell you, here's the top 20 blogs in that niche with the most traffic. subscribe to their feed and just link it onto your Facebook, and all of a sudden it posts automatically for you. So, for example, there was one that we just posted for Dr. Jack's weight loss clinic that was, Google came out with their most searched terms of 2012, and they had a sub-segment, most searched diets. So then we automatically put a link on Jack's to, these were the most searched diets of 2012, which ones of them did you try and have failed? And then everybody started talking, oh my God, I hated South Beach, I couldn't do this, I tried Zumba, all that stuff.
So, okay, so now, explain to me again how that works. So you look for the top blogs.
Yes.
Relevant to Dr. Jack.
Right, because they're already creating content.
Right, okay. So then, you linked that to his
Yes.
Facebook page. So then people just click and then go on his Facebook page, and that's how you got them.
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
Got it.
One more thing, so
Yes.
Facebook. Are you separating your business from your personal life? So you have 2 pages?
Yeah.
Yes. The other reason for that is a personal page. You can only have 5,000 friends as a person, but as a company fan page, you can have, there's no limit. So hopefully, well, Kurt doesn't necessarily need to get to the point where he's got around 5,000 fans, but you do. So yes, and the one thing is Facebook makes every business page tied to a person. So we had an issue with this with a client that, for whatever it was, it created a business page separately and couldn't post on other people's walls. And they said, we can't do it, it's broken. I said, it's not broken, you have to tie to a personal account. Facebook has to have you tied to a person. And then you can do whatever you want. So, yes, you have 2. I mean, I have tons, one for every business, but you should have at least 2. But the goal is not just to get the happy people commenting on Christmas lists on Facebook, it's to drive them off Facebook and onto your site. Because only 20% of people see the post anyway. So you need to get them someplace where you can control them, capture name, email, cell phone, and communicate directly with them so you're not dependent on Facebook. And so you can make sure they actually see it. You want to create an experience that starts on Facebook in this case, but brings them to a richer promotional and relationship environment. Because again, even though Facebook is fabulous, it does have limitations. You want to drive people to opt in, again, to get on your list. You want their physical address if at all possible. So we're going to show you examples of how we got physical addresses out of people off of Facebook. Because it's one that Facebook will sell you all of their data except their address. They have to physically volunteer to give it to you. I can buy their age, I can buy their favorite band, I can buy what school they go to, I can't buy their address. It's our privacy law. So the opt-in is the focus. Obviously you have to draw their attention, promote the reason for the opt-in. Again, this is your irresistible free offer. It needs to be clear and prominent. You need to incite an appropriate conversation. So you can say things on purpose to get people to talk about them. Like, can you believe so-and-so just, I mean, for real estate, it might be, for our foreclosure client, we do a weekly blog post and email on foreclosures, and there was a auction where, in New York State, I forget where in New York, where some guy bought all 300 properties. And you read about it. So he bought the whole, I think it might have been local, he bought everything. And all the other people who wanted to go buy properties were all upset that he bought everything. Well, that's a great, what do you think about that? That's a great way to start people talking about it. How many times has your mom done this? Are you trying to keep up on all the latest school changes? Okay. So Facebook gives you a couple different scores for every post you write. They give you an affinity score, and they give you the weight score. This is how they determine where you show up in people's news feeds. It's not just based on when you post it. The more comments you have, the more engagement you have, the higher up you will go. Because their IPO didn't go quite the way they wanted it to, they made some nice changes for us, and now you can buy, it used to be you could only buy ads that showed up on this side of Facebook. That was Facebook pay-per-click advertising. They introduced a new product because they need revenue where you can now buy showing up in someone's news feed. So instead of an ad they have to go over here to look at and it doesn't show up on a smartphone yet, you can buy placement in someone's news feed where they'll actually see you more often. So very, very useful tool. Contests work great on Facebook. Hey, I'm giving away even if I'm giving away a lesson, I'm giving away a ride, I'm giving away a thing. Make them have to engage though. Don't just like us to get entered. You have to write a testimonial. Tell us the mother's story that you can't stand her repeating. Tell us what your frustration is with your website. Tell us what the last catering nightmare you had. What's your favorite food show on TV? Worst job interview story. So that they start talking and participating, because the more engaged they are, the more likely they are to do what you want. And integrate with all your other social media sites. I'm going to skip ahead to get to some more stuff. We will come back to this in a second, because I want to get into people's actual funnels. You will also all get all copies of all of these, so you will get copies of the video and the slide. Okay, so let's start going through some funnels from people in the group. I'm going to give you a couple of mine, and then we're going to work on everybody's who submitted their homework. So this is the postcard that drives people online to go get this. So you'll notice some headlines appear repeatedly in some of my copy. Finally revealed. 7, always use a number, and always use an odd number. For whatever reason, odd numbers pull better. I don't know why. We've tested it a million different ways. 7 pulls better than 6. 3 pulls better than 2. Use an odd number. Make up something else to get an odd number if you have to.
7 the best number in general.
Yes. Alright, depends on the niche, but yes.
Yeah, don't you remember the 7 habits of highly effective people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's like kind of thinking. Success usually does whatever they drives.
There is a picture of what they're going to get. It's the cover. There are multiple ways to respond. There's a website and there's a QR code. The QR code is only placed on this postcard and is trackable, so we know whether they typed it in or whether they QR'd it in to see if it works. If you're wondering how to get more clients, you need to read this. I'm going to read it because some people can't see as far from the back. You need to read this free report. Tired of losing prospects to your competition? This absolutely free report will show you 7 of the most powerful tools to get clients guaranteed. How would you actually like to get new clients for your business from social media? It's free and supplies are running out. Your competition is taking advantage of this offer. Go to ultimatemarketingmagician.com and request your free report. Can you really afford not to get this free report? And the other side is one-on-one clients who don't know how to get them. Request this free report, QR code, or go to. Now, they go to the site, which...
Okay, Professor Seth, do you have an opinion about the address on the postcard? Label and written?
Ah, yes. Okay. Thank you. Great question. Okay. So, if you can, if I could spell, the postcard, the mailing address you're sending it to, if you can, handwrite it. It will pull better than if it's a printed label. Or printed on pulls better than a stuck-on label. Handwritten pulls better than everything. The color of the font that will pull the best is blue, like felt tip blue. So whether you're writing it or printing it, blue pulls better than black, green, red, for whatever reason. If you're mailing themselves and you can do it, it will pull better if it has a live stamp on it than if it has a bulk rate meter or if it has an indice stuck on it. So they go to this squeeze page, which they watch a video, and then they opt in. After they opt in, they get an immediate upsell. The upsell is, how'd you like a physical copy of this report? Because this is, go download it right now, a PDF. So there's a video that says, you know what? You can download your PDF right now, but if you give me your snail mail address, I'll mail it to you. So you don't have to print 20 pages in color, you don't have to burn up all your printer ink, and you can write on it and save it forever and frame it and I'll autograph it. Well, it doesn't say that. But I would do that for them. I'm just that nice a guy. So the first upsell is the report, physical copy. Then it says you can take the upsell, or click the link, no thanks, I just want a virtual copy. Either way, then, if they say, yes, I want a physical copy, they get one more upsell, which is, I'm going to send you 8 magical marketing videos on how to double your sales. How'd you like a DVD of them? Instead of watching them on your computer on YouTube, you can actually have a physical DVD that you can pause, rewind, watch whenever you want. It's free, just pay the $4.95 shipping and handling. Either way, you'll get your report as soon as you click yes or no, you get your report right away. So one upsell to a physical address, another upsell to get them to give you $5.
Stats, please.
Okay, so stats, please. We have about a 34% conversion on giving the physical address. And then of the people who take the physical, who give us their physical address, we've got about another 63% who buy the DVD. Now, the point of the DVD is not to get them to buy the DVD. The point of the DVD is to get them to give me their credit card number and get used to giving us money. Because next time they buy something, I've got their credit card. They don't have to fill it out again. And they've already given me money, they've invested something other than their time in getting something from us. So the people who buy the DVD convert to paying clients at a much higher rate than the people who don't. If you haven't read Influence by Robert Cialdini, I highly say it's one of the best psychological books of all time. And he says it's a principle, there's 7 principles. Principle of consistency. You want to remain consistent with what you already did. So I already bought, it'd be dumb of me to go spend money someplace else when I already gave this guy money. So they go along with it. He did a very famous study where they had a reciprocity, where you had the Hare Krishnas in the airport, and they would come up and they would give you the flowers. Oh, please have a flower, a blessed day. And all of the people, at a much higher rate, then gave a donation. The interesting thing was, in the airport, they followed them, and they watched them walk one gate away, and they threw out the flower. So then the guys got the flowers out of the garbage, walked back over, have a flower, sir. Because they were given something, they felt they had to reciprocate, even though they didn't want the thing in the first place. And they could have just said no. So the book is filled with amazing examples like that in all 7 principles, so it's really good. So, upsell to physical report, upsell to DVD. Then, this is where it gets really cool for all the people that I got the physical address from. We mail them, after they get this, we then mail them the DVD anyway, with a transcription of the DVD as a sales letter, selling them on the next step. And then we keep dripping on them until they give us a bunch of money. Overall, the entire funnel converts at 34%, getting people to give us $33,000.
Each?
Yes, per person. All from a postcard and an opt-in, which is why Don's printing a bunch of postcards for us. Because I want a lot more.
It converts ultimately what?
34%.
No. Oh.
To $33,000 sale.
So 34% of the people are paying $33,000.
Yes. Okay. So that's example 1. I can't hear you.
I said I like that. I like money.
Yes, money is good. Okay. All right. This is, Don is printing more of these too. This is for my financial advisor professional athlete coaching program. So I'm selling financial advisors a coaching program on how to get professional athletes as clients. Because they make millions and millions of dollars. So this postcard went to thousands of advisors in your area. Will it be you? Use this line. When we send the next step of the direct mail piece, we send them a list of every advisor we mailed to, sorted by geography as closest to them. So they get a list of, this is who else got this letter, and the first guy on the list is the guy next door. Oh, I don't want that guy to get it. I gotta get it before he gets it. 3 pages, it costs us 44 cents to stick in the mail. So we're including a list of everybody else who's getting it and saying we only got one, which is true, it's 1 per city. So we're building scarcity really fast. Who else wants to get professional athletes as clients? Because of what I'm about to share with you, our members have brought in millions of dollars in new assets from our NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB clients in the last few months, and you can too. Professional athletes as clients, www.professionalathletemarketing.com. Compliance approval guaranteed or your money back, which is their biggest concern. The biggest thing they're scared about as an advisor is their compliance program won't let them do it. Number 2, proven marketing campaigns that guarantee athletes and their agents will respond. Number 3, access to professional athletes' personal contact information. To see if you qualify, takeaway selling, not everybody can have this, you have to qualify. To see if you qualify to represent professional athletes, go to professionalathletemarketing.com. This postcard went to thousands of advisors in your area, we can only accept one, will it be you? You'll notice there's a picture of Jim Kelly autographed to me, there's a Adam Lingner autographed a picture to me, there's a picture of the marketing campaign, and then there's a picture of me holding up the best-selling books I've been written in, and then a picture of the logo of the top trade journal for financial advisors that I was written about. Tons of social proof. This goes to a website where they watch a video where it disqualifies them. It says you can't be in the program unless you meet these criteria. You have to have been in the business at least 10 years, you have to be spending this much on marketing now, you have to do this much in revenue. If you don't, and you have to live in a city that has at least 2 major sports teams. If you don't meet these criteria, don't bother. If you are still interested, fill out the opt-in form below. And I'll show you a video about the program. They opt in, they watch like a half-hour sales video explaining the program, and then they get to go buy.
Is there a reason you're not using a QR code on that stuff?
I'm testing it.
Why?
To see if it pulls better with or without. Testing. So the QR code would go here. I'm seeing if we're actually going to do 4, Don doesn't have the rest of these yet, we're going to do 4 different versions where the images move and see if it changes things. Like if the QR code goes here, this goes here, and that goes here. Does Adam pull better over here? Does Jim pull better? I have pictures of other athletes. Do they pull better? We're testing. This is the version that's going out now. We did this solely via email, driving them to watch the video. We got 100 people to opt in to go watch the video, and generated about 50 grand in sales. I sent 1 email. I couldn't believe I only sent 1, because normally we would send a big multi-step sequence. I sent 1 to advisors who were on a cold list that had never heard of me, that I bought, drove them to 1 opt-in page with 1 webinar, and made a bunch of money. And I said, oh dear God, let's go do some direct mail. Let's go mail to a whole lot of people, and let's blow this program up and do a couple $100,000 in revenue just from this.
So you started off with an email for that?
Yes. Yes.
So you were testing it and it started to work, so you couldn't reference it. But so you're using the likeness of Jim Kelly and like.
We're not the likeness. They actually gave me permission to use it. We've worked with them.
Okay, so that's what I was saying.
Yes. I have permission.
Are they being disqualified so they wanted more, or are they actually being disqualified because they have to meet those parameters?
Both. They have to meet the parameters, but it's also takeaway selling at the same time. If I had an advisor who was doing $400,000 and wanted to do the program, would I let him in? Sure.
But then wouldn't it be clever to do, if you're not qualified, I can help you get qualified and make money on that part?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So after they opt in, if they don't buy, they get a DVD of the presentation and a sales letter and a transcribed copy as a sales letter, selling them the program. If they still don't buy, then they get a letter, a downsell, saying you didn't get in. This was taken by someone else. You didn't get in for this. I have a cheaper program that isn't limited to 1 per city, that isn't about athletes. It's only $5,000 a year that you can get into. So there's a downsell if they don't take it to get them into something else. Yes?
And then this is all powered by Infusion.
Yes, all the software that runs it is all Infusion, yes. So the more steps you add, the more sophisticated it gets, the more money you can extract. So your homework, in addition to everything else I'm going to give you, is to not say this isn't going to work for me. Not say my business is different, but to make the millionaire choice and say, how can I get this to work for me? And wake up at 3 in the morning because you can't sleep and roll over and write down some ideas on how it will work. Because I can pay $8 an hour to someone to tell me why it won't work. But you make millions figuring out how it will work.